Hello everybody and welcome to Vicky, Pattison, The Secret To. This week I am joined by none other than craft queen, mummy blogger and #1 best-selling author. It's Louise Pentland, everybody.
Thank you so much. I'll take the craft queen. That's nice. Appreciate that.
Did you like that?
Don't get a lot of craft queening, but I'm going to take it.
I feel like it's criminal that you haven't had more craft royalties thrown around.
Thanks, Vicky, because I do my bedazzling, I do my beading.
Yeah. Honestly, you introduced me to, I know it's not technically craft, but it's certainly within that space. You introduced me to kinetic sand yesterday.
Oh my God. Everyone loved the kinetic sand. So if your audience don't know, it's actually a toy for children, like a sensory toy. So it's sand, but they've mixed some kind of, what can I describe as witchcraft in with it, where it moves like liquid on your hand, but you don't get wet. It's incredible. And whenever I want a guest to like open up and really chat, I'm like, hold this, because while you're playing with something, you're enjoying that. And you're like, yeah, here's my inner feelings. I'll share it all.
Aww. Yeah, that's it. This is my secret crush. And yeah, I've always dreamt about Boris Johnson, whatever it is that you want to say.
Who hasn't always dreamt about you? Delish.
The only reason that's in my head, and I'm about to put my producer on blast now, is because that's her secret crush, you know.
No, it's not.
It is. And I've just told her nobody wants to touch Boris Johnson's tail, and she's disagreed. Do you have a secret crush, Louise?
Is there anyone I don't fancy, Vicky, if I'm honest? It's embarrassing. Like, you know, when people are like, oh, would you? And I'm always like, yeah, I'd just be grateful if they wanted to back, to be honest.
Oh, I definitely would, just so you know.
Vicky. I mean, I don't fancy Boris Johnson, but I would be flattered if he fancied me. But do you know what it is to me? I think it's the hair, because do you know what it is? This is such a low touch problem to fix. Sure, it's hard to fix Brexit. Fine. It's hard to fix the general budget. Like those things. Could I do a better job than the government now? I don't know. I don't really get it. But but your hair, cut it and brush it.
I know.
You can fix that. It's an easy win.
I always say the same thing. It's mad because I'm like, listen, I get that I'm no politician and I understand. Yeah, you know, and I understand it's a pretty thankless job. Like nobody's ever come in and we've gone, God, this gun's smashing it. Like it's never happened.
It's doing well.
Yeah. Well, aren't we pleased we voted him in? Like we're never grateful. I get it. And it is thankless. But like when it comes to just being able to fucking pull a brush through your hair, I think if you can't do that, why should I have confidence in you running our country, son?
Yeah, if you're going to show up to work, show up properly.
Yeah, tuck your shirt in.
Tuck your shirt in, smarten your tie. Or, you know, you don't even have to wear a shirt and tie. Whatever you're going to wear, just wear it well. Just wear it smart. I mean, says the woman doing this in leggings. But, you know, they're comfortable.
No, you can't even see your leggings. All I'm getting is like waist up, and that looks pretty smart to me. If I was getting waist up from Boris, I'd be getting like his crazy flyaway homeless man hair and his unkept tie.
Can I just say, rather waist up than waist down?
Well, it depends who you're asking, because I think the producer would like it waist down.
Sure. There are some politicians, I think, yeah, not too bad. There are some. Ed Miliband.
Oh, don't! This is mental. This is mental, because this is what got on to this question, right? So she said something about Ed Miliband. We're reading you because you've interviewed him, haven't you?
Yeah, I have. It's a great day.
I went, which one's Ed Miliband again? She went,
Fit one.
Yeah, she went, it's the brother. So I Googled and I went, I'd shag Ed Miliband, like.
Yeah, I would. Well, the worst of it was, so I got asked, someone said, Ed Miliband's team wants to ring you to see if you want to interview him. Now, I am not a good interviewer. I'm not. It's just, I just say it now. I'm just not very good at it. And also... I
disagree. You were good yesterday, mate. We got through at least 3 of those 20 questions.
Yeah, exactly. Smashed it. Also, I don't know anything about politics. So I turned up to this thing and I tried to do some research, but it was very confusing for me. And that day I was in a really funny mood because someone was coming to meet me afterwards and I was going to go out for dinner with this guy that I was basically half in love with. So my head was there. It wasn't with Ed Miliband. And he was...
Which is a shame.
Happens to the best of us. So he was running to be Prime Minister and they had all these things that you couldn't say, and it was so stressful. And in the end, I just said, so tell me, what is an election? And afterwards, they're like, so good to take it back to basics. I was like, that's exactly what I thought. Yeah, I didn't want to overcomplicate it with my very good question. So I just took it straight back to basics. I said, do you think your mum would be proud of you for doing so well at your job because you've got almost to the top. You've done well. Questions like that. The whole interview.
I love them though. Like very recently, mate, we were talking about just yesterday that we're both Harry Potter fans, and
Lumos.
Expecto Patronum,
Nox.
Aloha Mora. But we recently I got the opportunity with Warner Brothers to go and see the brand new film Fantastic Beasts, The Secrets of Dumbledore. And then the next day I was allowed to go and interview certain members of the cast.
Oh, who did you get?
So this was the thing. So when I first got the opportunity, it was like, you're going to meet everybody from David Yates, like the director, all like Jude Law's going to be there. You've got Eddie Redmayne, like you name it, Vicky, you're going to be fucking asking them the big questions. And I was like buzzing like an old fridge. Brilliant. So they said to me, what do you, like, have you got, I had to come up with my own like questions and stuff. Yeah. And something to keep them engaged and interested.
Oh God.
I know. Well, I thought this was really good, to be fair. But I came up a bit like you, like I wanted to do something different. So I came up with the idea of sorting them into houses. Like,
I love that. I know that, yeah.
The moment came though, however, the new Grindelwald is obviously Mads Mikkelsen, who for anyone who doesn't know, is a very serious actor and a very nice man, but nonetheless a serious man.
He's not up for the cringy fun bants.
I basically wanted him to wear the sorting hat himself. The big hat.
Right.
It just went down like a fart in a spacesuit, Louise.
Oh no. Okay, do you know what? Do you know why this is so horrific to me, Vicky? Because I am a massive fan of Downton Abbey. Like I love it. I love the bones of it. I've watched every single episode of every single series multiple times. I don't mean like a couple of times. I mean like 10 times.
You're in.
Thoroughly.
Is it your go-to, Lou?
It is. Bad day, Downton Abbey. Celebrating, Downton Abbey. Raining, Downton Abbey. On your period, Downton Abbey. Right? I love it. Sometimes I go to places and I'm constantly saying to Liam, my fiance, I'm like, ooh, it's like we're at Downton Abbey. He's like, babe, it's not. I'm like, oh, look at that stone. It's like we're at Downton Abbey. Look at that tree. It's like we're at Downton Abbey. Constantly say, or the greatest compliment I can give someone is like, oh, your hair looks lovely. It's very Downton Abbey. Oh, love that.
I remember that.
It's a bit Downton, isn't it? It's a bit Downton Abbey. And sometimes I even use some of the lingo with my friend. Like my friend Esther, she's had an argument with her husband. I'm like, oh, did you have a tawdry brouhaha? Because that's what Carson says. Anyway, so I'm going to the premiere. I'm very excited. Yeah. And then they say, do you want to interview the cast? And I was like, what I want to do is be best friends with all the cast. But the thought of interviewing them, it just puts the willies right up me. I'm just nervous about it. And then I was like, okay, sure, what do you want me to ask? And they were like, no, you tell us. I have done some press junkets in my time and they have all been horrific because what happens is I get really nervous. I don't bring my good self to it. I say stupid things. Kylie Minogue has seen my snot. It went that badly. Like, it was awful. It's awful. So I'm very nervous. So for years, I've said no. Any opportunity to interview celebrities, I've been like, no, sorry, I can't. I'm just not doing it. I cannot. But it's Downton Abbey. So the thought of being there, I've got to go. So my questions are going to be like, tell us a bit about the film, all that normal stuff that they want to promote. Great. But then I thought what would be fun is to have a modern problem, like a scenario, and then get there, say, what do you think your character would do? Because if you're going to get Lady Mary, she's going to be like a sly bitch about it, but really clever. Love that. If you get Carson, he's going to be pragmatic. If you get Lord Grantham, what's he going to say? But I don't know what the modern problem is. So any suggestions? Let me plagiarize your work, please.
Oh, so hang on. So we've not done this yet?
No, doing it on Monday. And
oh my gosh.
I'm shitting it. I've got a +1 to take and all my friends work during the day. So I'm taking my friend Julie, who's Darcy's dance teacher. So I was like, Julie, are you free on Monday? She's like, yeah. And I was like, great. Could you come to London? I've got to do a quick interview with the entire cast of Downton Abbey and then red carpet. Just need to take a picture of me on my phone. Happy days. Are you game? And I've got Lo doing her hair and makeup, so we'll look great.
Yeah, you look incredible and you're going to feel good. I think that's half the battle is when you got a bit of confidence and stuff.
But what would you say to Hugh Bonneville?
I mean, I think he's a lovely bit of kit, so I'd probably open with that.
Oh no, I don't want to. That's not the vibe. I want him to be my dad.
Oh, okay. So then just tell him that. Like, this
just say, I want you to. Will you be my dad?
This is the beauty of who you are, mate. Like, you're honest, you're open, you're relatable. Like, loads of people are going to want him to also be their dad, so he'll have had that before, but it'll be endearing. And also, as well, if you're looking for,
I'm going to say it. I was speaking to Vicky Pattison the other day, and she said I should just tell you, I want to be in your family, not your real family, your fictional Downton family. I want to be one of your daughters, or I'm not greedy, a goddaughter. I'd be a goddaughter.
I feel like that, and as well, you've got to come with what your name would be if you were going to be on Downton Abbey. Come with that.
Lady Louise Pentland.
Oh, so we're not going to be we're not going to be creative, or we're not. We're really setting this bar low, Louise. Maybe just give that a little bit more thought before Monday.
Okay, Lady Louisa.
Oh, nice. Already liking the A.
Yeah, Lady Louisa Pentland.
We're still sticking with the Pentland.
Well, I can't say of Northamptonshire because that's.
Oh, you could though. That sounded very fancy.
Sorry, nursery. I thought it was going back this week. I'm that mum that was like, great, going back this week, perfect. And then I messaged my friend. She's like, we're going to Legoland. Does anyone want to come? I was like, how are you going to Legoland if nursery's open? And she's like, nursery's not open. I was like, are you fucking joking? So it's been a fun week.
Trying to figure, because obviously yesterday was a big day for you, so you've gone back to work, so trying to figure out the childcare around that. Can I just ask, Louise, this is mad personal, but honestly, my mind was blown when I found out how much nursery costs.
Yes, expensive. It is expensive.
So expensive.
Do you know what's upsetting though? It's so expensive, but the nursery staff that are like working their balls off to provide excellent care don't get well paid. It all goes on like insurances and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, it's a shame because often people that look after children are so incredibly caring, and it's such hard physical work and hard like mind work, but they don't get paid well enough. If I was Prime Minister for the day, I would make all childcare free and pay the staff incredibly well.
I feel like that's a great thing to do. I would also make tampons free for everybody.
Yes, yeah.
I feel like that's really important.
Have you tried period pants?
Obsessed with them.
Moddy body, love them.
Obsessed. So I actually don't love tampons. Like
I don't like the going. I don't want to fiddle around.
I'm not like afraid of my vagina or anything like that. Like I'm really.
I didn't think you were afraid of your vagina.
No, but I just putting just putting something up there. I just find it's very invasive, and just being able to just lash on a pair of pants and just still feel comfortable when you're feeling so uncomfortable anyway, I feel like is a great invention.
Can I tell you a period story, or is this not the place?
This is absolutely the place to tell me anything about periods. Go for it.
So it's sort of in keeping with what we've already talked about.
I promise is it about Boris Johnson on his period? No,
it is about Downton Abbey though. So I went to the first Downton Abbey premiere. Obviously, it was really exciting. That week, I was doing a YouTube video where I had decided that I would test non-disposable, like reusable sanitary towels. So I had bought a load of these sanitary towels off Amazon, and they're like a pad, but they're not sticky underneath, so they don't stick to your pants.
Ooh. Instantly, I'm feeling a bit suspicious. Is there a lot of movement? Oh.
Well, not when you're sat at your desk, there's not. So for most of the week, I was sat at my desk, or I was wearing like leggings. So they're like a cloth pad, and then they've got the wings that a normal plastic pad would, and they've got a popper to so it doesn't fall out to your pants.
Almost like on a bodysuit.
That's right.
Okay.
So most of the week I was wearing like jeans or leggings. And so jeans and leggings sort of mash up to your pants and hug the nun and keep everything in place. So then I was like, it's going to be really interesting, this video, because I'm going to show myself doing a variety of different activities wearing my reusable sanitary towel. So amazing. One of my activities,
sound like you're going to skydive or something.
Well, one of my exciting activities was going to the premiere. I had a cream dress, but I was like, no worries, it's got loads of flowers all over the back, so if we've got a problem, it's going to look like a flower, no worries. And I'm walking down the longest red carpet of my life, and as I'm walking, because I'm not wearing leggings, my pants are sort of like a bit free, and my thighs and like butt cheeks are doing this for the purpose of the hearing audience. I'm moving in a backwards and forwards motion. And as I'm doing it, I can feel the sanitary towel moving further and further back up. And I think it's okay because it's got that popper. So eventually it's going to stop. But what it actually did, Vicky, was come undone and move further and further back up my arse crack to the point where I thought it's not going to come out the waistband of the pant though. It did. So I am walking. At this point, I'm now walking to where all the photographers are. I'm looking for Brett, who's my favourite one. Where's Brett? But I've got, love a bit of Brett. And I've got half the sanitary towel poking over the top of my waistband. And I just put my hand to my back slightly to try and push it down. But I'm wearing a maxi dress, so I can't like fully gather up my dress.
Of course.
So I smile. Everything's fine. Ha ha. I start walking back. And of course, the press is the furthest part away from where the door is. I start walking back and I think a soiled sanitary towel is going to fall on the carpet. What am I going to do?
My God.
So I spend the rest, I'm going to have to stand up for this. I spend the rest of the carpet walking like this, like, oh, I'm just so casual, like, hi. Yeah, but really, it was to hold in place the sanitary towel. And then I got in, sorted it out. But I thought, I don't think that was a good part of the experiment. So pants, Modgy Body pants, much better. Yeah.
You know what, mate? Like, oh God, I think we can all relate to having a bit of a mishap on my period, but that's up there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Such a gross time. Like, I believe in cutting out all of the, like, as much awkwardness and as much like uncomfortableness as possible. And I love those pants as well. And there's some really cool ones now. I did a little campaign with Bodyform and they've got some with like black lace around the top. Erkan was over the moon. They were nicer than the ordinary Nicks.
Nice. No, me.
Before, like, I haven't loved the period stories.
Yeah, sorry. Fire over with your actual agenda. Sorry.
I've got some questions.
Yeah.
I just, for everyone who doesn't already know who you are, if they've been living under a fucking rock, you are literally one of the biggest mummy bloggers on the planet. Like, how does it feel?
Well, I don't really feel like that, but it is nice. It's nice. It's an honor to do that. It's funny because motherhood is something that when I was much younger, my experience of motherhood was so tragic.
Yeah.
Sorry, cut out this like sniff thing. My mum died when I was 7. It's actually her birthday today. And
happy birthday.
Yeah, thanks. Happy birthday, Mum. And then a woman came into my life that was in a maternal role and was incredibly abusive for such a long time, for 8 years. So to me, motherhood had always been not a nice experience. And then to have like the complete opposite, like such a 180 is such a privilege. And then to share it is incredible. I started doing this. I started sharing like the motherhood side of things because I don't have much footage or many pictures of my mum, and I wanted my girls to be able to look back on their childhood and see it all. So I do it half selfishly because it's like a digital scrapbook, and then to turn it into a job is just like the dream, right? Like turning your hobby into your job. So it's pretty cool. Yeah, I love it.
Do you think, Lou, like you were drawn to this path and like this role because of your upbringing?
Definitely. Oh my God, definitely. I think your childhood shapes you, whether you like fully realize it or not. But it's so healing to me to have the childhood experiences that I didn't get to have. Simple things like having a nice pat lunchbox made for you. To make that for my daughters is almost like I'm like ticking things off my list. Like, I've righted that wrong. I've like sorted that out in the universe. The energy is now rebalanced. And so it's incredibly healing because I get to enjoy this mother-daughter experience. And yes, it's not from the same way as before, but definitely.
That's what I was going to say. Like, you know, even though you're on the other end of it now, you're getting that experience.
Yeah, I'm still in it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I feel like it's obviously super brave to talk about all the things you do and use your platform for good and stuff. But like, I do also feel like it must be incredibly cathartic for you.
Yeah, especially the abuse side of things. That's something I've only been talking about for, I'd say, a year or two. So I've been doing this for 12 years, and it's not that I hid it.
We started around the same time, Lou.
Yeah. Oh, geez. It's just that, and you'll know this, the things that are the most painful to your heart are the hardest to share, because you have to get yourself to a place where you can guard your own heart. So now I do feel in a really like mentally good space where I can share that and still feel quite secure. I don't feel like raw and open and vulnerable. I feel like I've picked the things I'm going to share. I'm putting them out there. There we go. Still got my armor on. Plus you've got to be in the right like life space. Like I was young, I got married so young, then I got divorced, and that wasn't much fun. And then I was on the Tinder dating market, and that was a roller coaster. I'm not good on dates. Like, I don't know. I say everything all at once, too much.
I would love to be on a date with you, though.
I'd like to go on a date with you because we'd have the greatest time.
I feel like my idea of the worst ever date, Lou, is like someone who, you know, there's those stilted, awkward silences, or like someone who doesn't say anything real. Like, I don't want to talk to you about the weather. Like, tell me about where you stand on aliens. Fucking tell me about your childhood.
Did aliens build the pyramids? Did they? Let's talk about that.
Tell me something real. Tell me just tell me anything. Just don't ask me about the weather or what my favorite fucking number is. Fuck off.
Okay, so I had this one date, and I knew this is a telltale sign if it's going wrong. He said, so have you got any pets? Like, once you've got into the conversation where I said, have you got any pets? You know it's gone wrong. First of all, I want you to know, I want to set the scene. It was Christmas. I was sat by a fire in a pub. I was so close to the fire that like I was so hot. I was like sweating off half my face. And he said, have you got any pets? I said, yeah, I've got 3 cats. He's like, oh, you're a crazy cat lady. I was like, yeah. At this point, I thought, I'm not seeing you again. So I was like, yeah, I am. Yeah, I'm a crazy cat lady. Yeah. Have you got any pets? And he said, I've got 2 lizards. I thought, oh lizard
people, mate. Sorry, I don't mean to make a sweeping generalization, but
it's going to get worse. It's going to get so much worse. He said, I've got 2 lizards. So I was like, oh, right, that's nice. Are they siblings? And I don't know why I asked, like, you know, when you're desperate. And he said, well, I thought they were siblings, but they're not. They're boy and girl, and they mated. And I came downstairs one day, and there were 20 eggs in the tank or enclosure or whatever lizards live in. And I was like, oh, so you've got 22 lizards? He said, no, I killed them. I went, what? He said, well, I didn't kill them. I just got rid of the eggs. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, I froze them and then put them in the bin. And I was like, why didn't you just give them to like a reptile center or something? And he was like, well, the first time I just froze them, and then the second time I did think to give them away, but I just didn't have time, so I just put them in the bin. I was like, sorry,
this has happened
twice. And then I just thought, I can't spend the rest of my life with you, Steve. Are you joking? You're an irresponsible person. I'd rather shack Boris Johnson at this point. I
can't believe Steve, the overlord of lizard genocide, actually had the cheek to insinuate that you were crazy for having cats.
Yeah, are you a crazy cat? I've got 3 living cats.
And if they do have children, like I'll look after them. Unlike you, no, I'm sorry, Steve. If you're listening, you're fucking not well, mate. You're not well.
And he said to me, have you got any good sorry, I was so chatty on the podcast. I'm sorry, going to have to edit this out so much. He said to me, have you got any nicknames? I was like, Lou. A lot of my friends call me Lou. And he was like, how about
Pentas?
You can call me Pentas. He went, I know what rhymes with Louise. Cheese. I'm going to call you Cheese. I was like,
oh, Steve.
All right, Steve.
Fuck off.
Fine. Well, you won't be speaking to me again, but thanks, Steve.
When you tell this story to your friends, you can call me Louise. You can call me Cheese, but that will be the only time.
That'll be it. Yeah.
That'll be it. Oh, on that note, I'm going to end part 1, but can I get you back in part 2? I want to talk to you. I've got a little Tinder game I want to play with you. I want to ask all about your crafting. Oh, mate, I've just got so many more questions.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to part 2 with Vicky, Pattison, The Secret 2. I'm joined by none other than Louise Pentland, my favourite mummy blogger in the world. How are you?
Hello. Thanks for having me.
Don't be daft, my absolute pleasure. Now, I've got loads to ask you, but I just want to kick off by saying, for those of you who don't know, Louise is doing me a massive favor by doing this, because yesterday she did a huge live fundraising event for the amazing guys at Childline and NSPCC. There she is. Oh, never far from hand. Love that. But yes, you were basically live for 10 hours straight, mate. I caught you right. I was a guest right at the start. But how were you by the end? Were you done in?
I was almost delirious.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I was really fortunate because my last two guests are actually my friends, Jim Chapman and Jack Howard from Internet World. And I was basically like, please don't go. So every now and again, we would play a video from Childline that was like either 2 minutes or 6 minutes. And so that gave me a chance to like run to the loo, like put some food in my mouth. And I was like, please don't go. I can't do the last hour solo, please. And they're like, we'll stay. I was like, thank you. I love you. I had my friends there. I was just talking absolute rubbish by the end, but I was so impressed that we'd raised all that money. It was £30,000 because it costs Childline £30,000 to run it for one day. And it costs £4 for every child that's calling. A child is calling every 25 seconds. So I was thrilled to do it. It was an honor to get to work with them. There were some challenges, like we were giving away this pretty big prize. It was a cruise and there were quite a lot of T's and C's. And by the end, Megan was like, you need to read them out. I was like, I can't even speak. I don't know what the prize is. I don't know how to enter. I
think just like chatting and keeping like general bullshit going is one thing, but when you've got to recite something legal, mate, like I'd be done. I would definitely feel like, oh, I didn't have that in us. How much did you raise altogether?
Last night it was on 32,000. I'll just have a little quick check, but it's around the 32,000 mark. Has it gone up to 33 yet? Let's see. Oh, 33,800. Someone must have put in a big one.
That's
but we're on
nearly 34 grand.
Yeah, we're nearly on 34 grand. So thrilled. Yeah, really pleased.
On your way to making sure Childline runs for 2 days. That's incredible.
It'd be incredible. I really hope so. In an ideal world, you wouldn't need Childline, but we don't live in an ideal world. So let's support them as best we can.
And like we touched on it earlier on, mate, like obviously that your childhood was less than ideal, and
bag of shit. It was a bag of shit. Yeah.
Heartbreaking. And I am so sorry about that. It's
thank you.
A miracle that you are as bloody lovely and full of sunshine as you are, hun, because it could have easily gone another way. The campaign you support is called Now I Know. Do you want to tell a little bit about that?
Yeah, so Now I Know comes from the fact that when I was younger, I didn't know that it was confidential to call Childline. So I was being abused physically and mentally and emotionally, and I really wanted to tell somebody. I did try a few times to tell people, but my fear with calling Childline, because from my experiences of lightly telling people, they would go back to my abuser, I was in their full-time care, and say, oh, Louise has said this, I'm very concerned. She would say, no, she's grieving, she lies, she's a liar. And then the punishments for telling would be horrendous. So I had learnt, don't tell, it's going to be worse. If I had known that Childline was confidential and was not going to contact anybody, I would have called. But now I know. So it's called Now I Know. It's really important to let people know that there are some cases where confidentiality will be breached, and that would be discussed with the child beforehand. And there'd be very serious cases, like if the child's life was in imminent danger, if the person, the abuser, was in a position of power, like a police officer, a teacher. But I could have called and I didn't. And it breaks my heart that there's other little Louises out there that are dying to call and just don't know. So as much as I want to raise as much money as possible, I also want children to know. So tell every child you know that they can. And if you are an adult with a concern for a child, and it could be about abuse, it could be you're worried about, they're struggling with something else, whatever it is, you can call the NSPCC helpline and they will help you work out what's best to do, because often people don't feel comfortable going straight to the police, which I understand. That's a big deal to pick up your phone and call the police. So if you're an adult concerned, call, because if you're wrong and that child is not being abused, so what? But if you're right, it might be saving a life.
It's just such an incredible thing that you're doing, mate. And if anybody is listening and wants to donate, where can they? Where's the link?
So I've got a Just Giving page. If you just search Louise Pentland NSPCC, you will find it. It's all over. And I'd be so grateful. Or if you can't find that, just go direct to the NSPCC. You don't need to do it via mine. Just want you to give to the charity.
I'm going to give as soon as we're off this call, mate. You've
thanks,
inspired me to do my bit. You wonderful, wonderful human.
It's very nice of you to give me some airtime for it.
Oh, don't be so daft. My pleasure. We like to help here at Vicky Pattison. So I think we're a good little bunch.
We should have our own show.
Oh my God, I would love to do our own show. I would love to do anything with you, actually. I'm quite upset Darcy's dance teacher got the call for the
well, next time you know who I'm calling.
Mate, on to happier pastures, I like to think.
Let's go.
You are happily engaged to your gorgeous fiance.
Yes.
And you got engaged at Disney World, which you've described as your happiest place like ever.
On earth. Yeah, he did very well. He did very well there. Should we tell you a little bit about it?
Please do. Tell me all about it and tell me why it's so special and tell me why Liam's so great. Okay. Tell me all about everything. Tell me what his penis looks like, man.
I will not.
Okay, that was too far. I understand that.
So
I should have quit while I was ahead.
I will tell you, it's lovely. So
good for Liam.
Yeah, very pleased with it. No complaints. So I met Liam on Tinder, and I was at that magical place in your Tinder journey where you're giving up, where I just thought, I can't do this anymore. It's been 2 years.
Was it after Steve?
It was after Steve. It was 6 months after Steve. So I'd gone really down the line at this point. So I can't do this anymore. One day I was in my car and I was doing what I called catching up on my correspondence, AKA having a little swipe.
Yeah.
Available on the man market. He was there. He broke all of my rules because he didn't even have anything written in his bio. And I say this without a grain of humility, but my Tinder bio was the best bio. Like, if my career goes downhill, I'm going to set up a business writing people's bios because it was incredible. It was perfection.
Tell me what was in your bio.
I can't even remember it, but I know it was perfection. So I thought, he looks nice. I swiped anyway. We got to chatting. We went for our first date. It was a bit awkward because he'd misunderstood my job and he thought, oh, sorry, someone is calling me. It's actually Liam. I'll just pick up on him. 1 second.
Not today, Liam. We're talking about your dick.
He had misunderstood and he thought that I was a dominatrix. Yeah, so that was a really awkward conversation when I had to say that actually I'm not a dominatrix, not by profession anyway.
I mean, how did he get like craft queen mixed up with?
Right, I'll condense a long story. Yeah. I had a little process where before I'd gone on a date with a Tinder person, I would have to have a FaceTime call with them just to like vet them. So we had this call, and at the end he was like, can you give me your phone number? And I was like, oh, you've already got my phone number. I've just FaceTimed you off it. And he said, no, you've FaceTimed off your email address. And I was like, oh my God, it says Pentland on there because you don't have Pentland on. And I said, look, this is going to sound really weird, but do me a favor and don't Google me before the date because there's a lot of me online and I want the opportunity for you to get to know me without that.
Understandable.
So 1 second. He's sending me a lot of messages. It's just calling to say hello. So there was a lot of I wanted the opportunity, and what it's like when you date someone, just to like let me just put my best foot forward first without you seeing my whole life on the internet.
Absolutely. So, I don't unfortunately have that luxury.
I get on the date and he's like, so I've worked out what it is you do. And I was like, oh, okay, well, cool. I was going to tell you anyway, vlogger. Yeah. He was like, vlogger. And I was like, yes, YouTube. Did you Google me? And he was like, so what he had done is he said, you presented really confident on the call. You looked glamorous because, of course, I'd like dolled myself up for the call. Yeah. And he said, there's a lot of you online. So I just thought you were a dominatrix. It's like, I don't know how your head went there, but that is not what I do. So the first date was a lot of fun. Then at the end of this date, I won't tell you the whole relationship in this much detail. You'd be bored to death. Our date was the day that Pokemon came out. The app. Super fun. And at the end of the date, I'd had a lot of wine and shots, everything. And I was like, do you want to go outside and play Pokemon? And he was like, yeah. So he came out and he looked at me and I was like, get the app. Have you got the app? And he was like, what? And I was like, the app, Pokemon. Let's catch some. And he was like, I didn't think you meant Pokemon. I was like, I absolutely did. Get it out. Let's catch a Charizard.
Did he think it was like code for something else?
Yeah, did. Fast forward, we're on an amazing holiday in Disney, and we go for this walk around this lake. It's so beautiful. We get to this gazebo, and the way he tells it is so much better than I do, but it was nighttime, and he said, oh, let's go and do a picture in that gazebo, because it was beautiful. It's like white and so pretty. And I looked at it and went, it's not very good lighting, babe, I wouldn't bother. He was like, are you sure? And I was like, yeah, no, it's not good lighting, let's just leave it. And he was like, I'd really like to go in. He was like, we'll just do a selfie. I was like, there's no point, because you won't even see the gazebo if we're doing a selfie in it. He was like, could you just go and stand in the I was like, yeah. And then he proposed.
Honestly, mate, I don't know what it is about us women, but it's like, these fellas, like, they must get so like nervous and overhyped about this one really special, significant moment, that the story you're going to tell for years to your friends and family and God knows whoever else. And I nearly ruined her cans as well. I think there's something in with, I don't know what it is.
Yeah. I didn't know he was going to propose. If I'd have known, it would have been like, yes, I will go and stand in the gazebo. But it was lovely. It was perfect engagement. I don't know if we'll get married anytime soon. We're happy as we are. There's been that pandemic that took a lot of focus off, and we're just really happy living in sin, to be honest with you. Lovely sin.
Really is a fun way to live as well, isn't it? Once you've got like the approval of the clergy and God, it's just not that as exciting, is it?
Well, I've been married before, so I should know.
Oh, well, yeah, fuck it, you're fine. You're definitely living in sin.
Yeah, I am. With my 2 children.
I wanted to, right, we've got a little game here, Lou. Because obviously you are not just the Queen of Crafts, but based on everything you've told me, the Queen of Tinder as well.
I should be.
I want to know who, out of our guests from The Secret 2, who would get a swipe left and who would get a swipe right off you.
Yeah, fire away. Okay, yeah.
Okay.
God, do you play this with everyone? I hope they're not going to listen to this.
No, I don't play this with everyone. This is specifically just for you, because you're Tinder Queen. Okay,
fire away.
First up, Teddy Suarez, Love Island stud. Swipe left or swipe right?
I'm going to swipe left, because I don't think I will meet up to the expectations he has for sexy bikini babes. If I wear a bikini, I've lost it within myself.
I think you'd be surprised. I feel like you'd be Teddy's cup of tea, but that's fine. He's gone left. He's in the bin. Right, Aurea Duba.
Who is this?
He used to be on. Used to be on. Was it News Round? I think he was on News Round.
It's a bit niche, isn't it?
Yeah, no, but he's a children's TV presenter, but then he's moved on. He's done all sorts of stuff since. You'll recognise him from Strictly Come Dancing.
I'll say yes, because he sounds like he's got a lot to talk about on the date. And Strictly Come Dancing would suggest he's got good physical stamina.
Yeah, he's a very interesting and kind man. So he was swiping right on Aurea?
Yeah, I don't know who he is, but I'm going to, just based on that bio, yes.
Okay, I love that. Next up, Alex Mitten. Swipe left or swipe right?
Who's he?
He was on Made in Chelsea. Apparently he's got a really big willy.
Swipe right.
Yeah. Decisive. Paul Danan.
Who's he?
Really sensing a theme here, Louise. Old school Hollyoaks star, went off to be like one of the original reality TV stars. Did the first ever Love Island, when like Kelly Brook was presenting it in Fiji. It was called Dangerous Danan. He was a little bit ropey with the lasses.
Not for me, a bit ropey, not for me. I don't want any danger in my life. It's a no for me. Left, it's a left. Sorry, yeah.
It's okay, it's fine. I'm sure I'll take it on.
I'm desperate to know the next person.
The next person, Pete Wicks.
I will swipe right.
Yes,
of course.
My long-haired Lothario of a best friend going straight into yes, pal.
Yeah.
Jason Fox.
Who's he?
Foxy from SAS Who Dares Wins. Very handsome, ex-SAS.
Yeah, I will, because because 1, high physical stamina. Yeah. 2, so handy to have someone with that sort of life skill set. Like you're out and about, the car breaks down, don't worry, you're going to survive.
Oh, he's the type of man who fills me full of confidence. Like I feel like he could look after me, whatever happened.
Yeah, so that's a firm right. In fact, I might do one of those like super swipes.
What's a super swipe?
Like there's different features, and you can do like an extra, like show your intentions. Like there's more. Yeah, there is.
Oh, a hard
might not be any.
Foxy.
Yeah, maybe they don't anymore. I don't know, but they did used to.
Oh my God. To be fair, I don't know anyone who wouldn't hard swipe on Fox. He's absolutely lush. I fancied him even when he was shouting at us. Dr. Alex George.
Is that Dr. Alex from Love Island?
It is, yeah.
Love him.
Yeah.
He's a right. Yeah. He seems like a good boy. Yeah.
He's a nice man. And as well, you'd never be short of a bath bomb. He's got that collection. You'd have loads. Who doesn't love a good bath bomb?
Also, if you've got an ailment, no problem.
Oh,
got this rash. Look at this.
That could be your first chat line. Fancy coming round and looking at me rash.
Yeah.
Scott Thomas.
Who's he?
One of 3 Thomas brothers. One of them was in Emmerdale. One of them was in Curry. He was the one that went on Love Island.
I'm going to say no. I'm going to say not for me.
No, that's fair enough, babe. You can't swipe right on them all.
No, you can't. Can't have everyone.
Darren Day.
Who's he?
Now it's getting a bit harder for me to describe who Darren Day is. So Darren Day was in the iconic series of Celebrity Big Brother that spawned the phrase, "I'm claustrophobic, Darren." But
oh my God. I say I'm claustrophobic, Darren, all the time, but I didn't know that's Darren Day.
Yeah.
It's going to be a no from me, I think.
Okay. Is that because of anything in particular, or just?
As I just don't know who it is, who he is. And, you know, like I'm generally sort of, when I'm single, I describe myself as desperate, but I don't want to say just yes to just people I really don't know who they are at all.
Well, it's fair enough, mate. They could end up killing lizards. You never know what you're saying yes to. You
could get Steve, couldn't you?
Last but by no means least,
yeah,
King of Daytime Telly, it's Eamon Holmes.
Oh, this is a very tricky one, and I'll tell you for why.
Okay.
I absolutely love Ruth Langsford. Like, she's a queen.
Yeah.
And would I ever do anything as shady as to swipe right on her man? No, I would not.
You wouldn't?
Oh, no, I wouldn't. Because I just wouldn't do that to Ruth, because I just think she's an icon. Also, I want Eamon and Ruth to be my parents. So I think that Tinder is not the right place for that kind of vibe. So I'm going to swipe left, but not in a dismissive, I don't like you way, in a I regard you so highly that I cannot swipe right.
It's because I have the utmost respect for you, Eamon, that I cannot shag you. Yeah.
That's right. Yeah. That's right.
It's great, mate. I feel I get you. I completely understand where you're coming from. That's a decent pile there in the rights, though. Good for you, mate.
Thank you. Well, they've not swiped right back, but thank you.
No, you've done well. You've had a champion time. Excellent. I can see now why you're the queen of Tinder. Mate, like, I love so many things about you, but you're welcome. I think particularly what I identify with most is I'm not a mother yet, and obviously, as you've seen, like, it is something that's incredibly dear to my heart, but you show, which I am a huge advocate for, like, both sides of the coin with parenting.
Yes.
And I think it's dead important, because my sister had Mavie 2 years ago now, and God, like, she's the best thing that's ever happened to our family. We adore her, but she is full on, you know, and I'm sure
she's spirited. Spirited child.
We like to say loads of personality.
Yeah, that's the same as spirited or high energy.
We've heard them all, but like, and obviously we wouldn't have her any other way, but I know it's hard for Laura. Like, she's barely slept in 2 years. Like she's never, I say, oh, did you watch so-and-so? She's like, unless it's Coco Melon, Vicky, I haven't fucking seen it. And I'm like, fair enough. Okay, I'm sorry. I'll stop asking if you've caught up with the latest Netflix binge. But I just think there are so many women out there who are only showing the snapped back body, only showing, you know, the perfectly adorable family snap. And I don't know, like, I know I won't be that mother, Louise. Like, I absolutely won't be. I just think it's very admirable that you're showing both sides.
Well, there's 2 reasons for this. First of all, I don't have a snapback body to show you, so can't physically do it. But I think that women do that not because they are deliberately trying to mislead, but because society puts so much pressure on us.
It's the pressure, babe, yeah.
We do it to each other. So just, if I know that, let's say Instagram, if I post a picture of me looking normal, so an unfiltered picture, and I don't use filters that change my body, but I use filters that change the light.
Yeah.
If I just posted a picture of me just sat in a messy room, yada yada, it would get a certain amount of engagement likes, like the stats that the metrics that we use to measure whether a post has been successful. However, if I post a picture of me looking incredible on a beach, blah, 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 that's going to do better. So what I'm learning from that is, oh, that's the better content. That's what I should do more of. It's very difficult to be like, actually, I'm going to do what is potentially morally better and then have a less desirable outcome, because we're taught the opposite.
Yeah.
So yes, it is good to show all of it. It is difficult though, and also I don't think I do show all of it because I have to respect my children's dignity. So for example, and this is no disrespect for anyone else, because I think you do you, but I don't show my children if they're having a tantrum or they're having, you know, a wobbly, because I would not like that footage of me to be, if I was a kid, no, if I look back, I wouldn't want that kid footage of me. So I have to think about the future, like, will future them be okay? So I just share smiling pictures and us being cute, but I will sometimes say like, I am done. It's a really difficult balance, isn't it? Because it's a new landscape, this like digital world. Our parents didn't have that, so it's hard to know what's best to do. But yeah, warts and all, like, I think it's worth saying sometimes this is hard. This is really hard. But there's different ways you can do that, isn't it? Some people want to show their kids having a full meltdown. Some people wait till later and be like, I've had a hard day.
Today was hard.
Today was hard.
It's exactly like you say, like, I don't think it matters which way you do it, you know, as long as you're being authentic and honest. And I just hope you know that by showing both sides of the coin and allowing yourself to be vulnerable, to talk about the ups and downs of motherhood, you in turn are allowing other women to do it as well and feel normal. So thank you, because on behalf of my sister and all mothers out there who feel sometimes like they're not doing great, fucking awe.
Thanks, Vicky.
You're so welcome, mate. Right, lastly, before I let you go and have some time with your lovely little girl, I always ask my gorgeous guests at The Secret to give our lovely listeners a couple pearls of wisdom. And you are sunlight personified. You are just
only when they wheel me out, Vicky. Behind closed doors, I'm a miserable hag.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I
wanted to ask what because life can be hard. It has ups and downs, throws all sorts of things at you, as you know. So I want to know what your secret is to having a positive attitude.
Okay, so it's two. The first one is like 30%. The second one is 70%. The first one is an attitude of gratitude. Once you start like counting your blessings, everything feels a lot better. But the second one is one that I've actually stolen. I heard Anna Martha.
A good bit of plagiarism.
Yeah. So I follow this amazing woman on Instagram called Anna Martha. She's a mother, and I also think she's a psychologist or a psychotherapist. And it's a really simple trick that's not just for mums, it's for everyone. It's change the word got. Sorry, I've got some pings coming up. It's to change the word got to get. So if you're like, oh, I've got to go to London tomorrow, I'm so tired. Change it. Oh, I get to go to London tomorrow. Or, oh, I've got to empty the dishwasher. Oh, I get to empty the dishwasher because I have a dishwasher. And I use a lot of parenting, like, oh my God, I've got to put the dishes away, give them a bath, put them to bed. And they're like, oh, I get to put the dishes away from the food that I've been able to put on the table. I get to bath my beautiful, healthy children, and I get to tuck them up in their safe beds. Like, it's all about gratitude, but just changing got to get. Like, oh, I've got to go to work. No, I get to go to work because I'm employed. Great. Like, it changes things.
If you just alter that tiny little like mindset.
It's one letter of one word, get to got. Amazing.
But it makes all the difference. I'm going to actually do that today, Louise. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Right. If anybody wants to donate, they know where to do so. I'm going to go and do it now. Thank you so much for taking time out of your busy day.
Thanks for having me.
No, you're welcome. I hope you get a bit of chill time now.
Thank you.
The silence says it all. Enjoy your day, whatever happens.
Thanks, Vicky. Thank you. Bye.